There are people in every community working hard to make our neighborhoods, our cities, and our state a better place to live. They're committed each day to fulfilling a promise to serve, protect, and to make a positive impact on those around them. We call them the heroes of Arizona.
How will you be remembered? I mean, because it's all about what you're willing to give. Now, a number of you guys have bled.
I have a fire in me. It has never stopped burning. And I think, too, when I coach, all that comes out. And when I coach, I teach that. I show that. And a lot of people have never seen that passion, that drive that I have, you know, because it's like, oh, he's just laid back and he just, no, I still got it in me.
From the front lines to the line of scrimmage on a football field, there's one man at the sheriff's office that has always understood that no matter what line you're on, you can impact the community. James Collins, or JC, is the Director of Community Relations and Outreach for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, a position he says he's been preparing for his whole life.
I was that person that had these dreams and aspirations of being this superhero, you know, being this person that was going to impact the world in one way or another. I thought it was going to be football.
As a kid, JC developed a passion for the game of football, a game that would teach him so many life lessons. When he showed up at practice with a toothache, his coach showed him the value of helping other people.
James, what's wrong? I said, Coach, my mouth is killing me. I just can't. He says, open your mouth. And he said, oh my God, open my mouth up. And he looks in there and says, oh my God, you need a dentist. Once you go home and you go see your dentist, I said, Coach, we don't have a dentist. He goes in his back pocket and pulls out his wallet and he gives me his business card to his dentist. And he says, I want you to leave here right now and I want you to call your dad and you go to my dentist. When he did that, I just knew that I cannot stop giving to other people.
In college, James studied law enforcement as a means to play football. Little did he know that it would be law enforcement he was destined for.
I had to take classes. I don't really think I'm going to need this. And he said, why do you say that? I said, because I'm going to be a professional athlete, so I really am not going to. I said, well, you got to take something. And he says, a lot of football players, they go into law enforcement. I said, really? I said, wow, I've never had any problems with law enforcement. I've never been in trouble. That sounds good to me. It's been the best that ever happened to me.
Throughout his law enforcement career, James worked hard to make neighborhoods a safer place. But if you ask him, his best days were when he was helping the community in other ways.
I worked in a program called the PAL, Police Activities League. For 5 years, I was placed in the Sidney P. Osborne projects. I got a chance to work with families. I got a chance to work with the kids. I got a chance to introduce them to things that I know they would never have been introduced to before.
These are some of the kids I should see every day. Well, at least 5 days out of the week, they come to our PAL Center and they participate in different activities and we take them places that they had never gone to before in the city or out of state. And so some of these kids have never left their neighborhoods. I grew up in the public housing projects in Liberty City. And now I was having an opportunity to work with kids that grew up the same way I did.
Today, James works right here, down the hall from the sheriff, creating those outreach programs that he used to be a part of when he was a kid.
This provides me a mechanism where I can work with the community. My sole purpose for having this job is to impact the youth, impact our community, and impact other people working around me, my law enforcement family.
But his impact in people's lives goes well beyond his law enforcement career. For over 20 years, he was a football coach in both high school and college.
I was the one that gave that halftime speech. I was the one that gave that speech before they went out there and gave it their all. That is who I am. That is what I do. My job today is based on the fact that I want to continue to give to others and provide opportunities for others. You know, so I love having those opportunities in life, and that's who I am.
We're playing to win tonight.
Perhaps it was the combination of both football and law enforcement where JC made the biggest impact on one young man's life.
I coached this young man when he was in high school. He was straight from New York. He was rough. He was just, he was straight from the streets. It reminded me a lot of myself, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, my gosh, you know, this young man, he's searching for, he's hurting, you know, because he got sent here to live with his cousins, but he's playing football. He come over my house because he had become a good friend of my son's. And I'm watching him, and he's watching me. I mean, I'm not thinking he's watching me, I'm watching him. And as I watch him and listen to him, sometimes I get frustrated, but I have to remember, you know, there's potential here.
The two would form a bond that will last a lifetime. And if you ask Ramel, he'll tell you it was JC's influence that made him pursue his career in law enforcement and become the officer he is today.
It was the simple fact of you just coming up to me and talking to me. He was my coach at Glendale Community College, a defensive line, played defensive end. He was my defensive line coach. And he was planting that seed, like, hey man, hey, you know, you think about joining the PD. So literally, I joined the PD in August of 2006, and JC retired in October of 2006. So I'm not sure if I even be a police officer if, you know, I didn't get that seed planted and I was like, hey, you know, I think you do very well in this profession, this career, your background, how you are, you carry yourself, how you care about people. I think that would translate very well into this department. Definitely a huge impact.
If you're not engaging in the community and be willing to get out and talk to them, they'll never know who you truly are as a person. We're more than just a badge.
Whether you know him as Director Collins, JC, or Coach, he has spent a lifetime serving the community around him, and as you've seen, he's inspired so many others to do the same thing. He's also a shining example of what law enforcement truly is. These men and women are more than a badge and a gun. That's why James Collins is truly a hero of Arizona.
Are you guys ready?